Let's pivot to Pretoria. This is where the Public Works Department will be handing over 5 properties to the Gauteng provincial government. These buildings will be used to shelter survivors of gender-based violence. And Zola Sholwana is there. I mean, it's interesting, Zola, that now there's this push to repurpose government buildings and to put them to use. Talk to us about the beneficiaries specifically and why this is such an important allocation.
Well, Iman, you would understand that we are currently facing a scourge of gender-based violence across South Africa, where survivors of GBV, find themselves having to live in the same environment with their attackers, having nowhere to go because there isn't enough shelters to house them. Now, the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure has handed over one of the houses here in Waterkloof in Pretoria for victims, or rather survivors of GBV, and we are told that its doors will be open sometime in May. That's what they're actually hoping for, where they will have social workers that are helping them and also just to help them regain their independence, because really it's not just about giving them psychological support, but just to make sure that once they leave this place they are integrated back to society as better people. But let's speak to the Minister of Social Development. Ma'am, thank you very much for your time. Of course, this is a milestone, and this is what you said in your speech earlier on, saying that this is part of South African government committing themselves or recommitting themselves to fighting the scourge of GBV and supporting survivors.
Indeed, we are at that time in South Africa that does not really look good for anyone. The gender-based violence and femicide is in a level that is not acceptable. We saw our communities, society rising up in the case of Twekwe, calling for justice for Twekwe. We got to realize that it's upon the government to make sure that it fast-track the decisions that it took and further plan to make sure that gender-based violence in particular are being taken care of. And in this case, we are getting from the Department of Infrastructure and Public Works shelters that are supposed or meant to provide for psychosocial assistance as well as skills development. As you might be aware of the fact that when women and children go through this, they sometimes don't have anywhere to go, and government is providing. Today we're receiving 5 of those. We are still gonna get more, and this, as you said, it's a milestone, because having reported gender-based violence, you will be catered for by being taken into these facilities. You'll be looked after by people that are trained. You'll be processed by the entire sector, from health, police, social development, and give a complete service on a professional basis, and stay in an area that is quite conducive with trained people in an environment that seeks to integrate you to the society. We will keep them, as you sometimes do, 6 months, and by that time, we make sure that we are able to integrate them and being able to develop them, for them to have some skills, for them to be able to be independent, so that we discourage this situation where women stay in this situation, because majority of time, people or perpetrators are the ones who are providers. So we are making sure that we empower women to be able to allow themselves to be their own providers, assist them, because no one is just dumb. Every woman can do something out of her own. This is what we are beginning to do in line with our 2020 decision of the President of the Republic, and in the situation where we have clustered ourselves with all other relevant partners.
Now, Minister, before I let you go, the biggest concern then comes to the issue of resourcing and also funding these shelters, because currently there are shelters that are supporting women, children who are victims of GBV, and they are complaining about funding and not having enough resources from government. Are you assuring those that will be occupying this unit and the other shelters that have been handed over, that that issue will not, they won't experience those problems?
Yes, we must assure our people that that will not happen again. Yes, a little bit late, but we are now have introduced a policy that seeks to address that, because for the longest time we've been working in silos, and now we've introduced this multidisciplinary approach wherein all the resources from different departments will be put in one kit for that to be used for these who have put budget aside as social development in this financial year, to make sure that all the facilities that will be open and reopen and renovate will make sure that they are well resourced. So we want to assure our people to say they will be well resourced.
Minister, someone that is a survivor of GBV is sitting at home right now, and they can't wait to hear you actually say, when are you opening the doors of this, house here and the others that you are, receiving today as a handover from Public Works? And also, when are they what's going to be the criteria that you're going to be looking at in terms of people that are going to be housed here?
The criteria, yes, as we have an agreement with Department of Public Works, the availability of building becomes the criteria. But the scourge of gender-based violence differ from one province to the other, and that will what will inform our approach in providing those. As I said already, out of 52 districts, we have provided 47. Only 5 that are outstanding between Northwest and Limpopo. And in this financial year, we are ready already to make sure that we hand them over. From the 1st of May, this particular one will be operational, because as you have experienced, we are working together with as national department, with the provincial department, as well as the local government, because all centers are situated in municipalities, in a ward belonging to a particular municipalities. And this is why today all of us were here to also deal with those things that look small but very fundamental on the premises that needs to be utilized, because you must be legally occupying that. You must make sure that you have cleared the desk between the former occupier, between them and the municipality. All that administrative work has been concluded. So we are showing our people. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Minister, for your time. That is the Minister for Social Development, Nokuzola, essentially telling us what the Department of Social Development is doing to ensure that victims or survivors of GBV do not feel alone. Iman, back to you in studio.